Welcome, welcome to those just now joining. I'm glad you're here. Go ahead and join the interactive presentation for today. You can scan the QR code that you see on the screen with your mobile device or on your desktop, navigate to kahoot.it, and from there you can use the game pen to join today's interactive presentation. All right, so for today's agenda, we are going to learn about Kahoot. We're going to learn how to create and host Kahoots. We'll have a live demo where we'll talk about platform navigation as well as experience creating a Kahoot in real time. And then, of course, throughout the entire presentation, there will be useful tips and tricks. So before we dive into the content, I do want to go over some quick introductions as well as show resources that are available to you beyond today's session. I am Tyler Shelnut and I am your presenter for today. I'm a customer success renewal manager for our Americas team. Our wonderful moderator is Lisa Shargwa. She is a customer success manager for our Americas team. Lisa will be keeping a close eye on today's chat. So if you have any questions during today's session, please feel free to drop them in there and she'll be happy to answer them. At the very end of today's presentation, if we have time, I'm happy to hang on for a few minutes and answer any questions as well. All right, as for resources available to you beyond today's session, we have our wonderful Kahoot Help Center. It is a central online resource designed to provide users with easy access to information, videos, and guidance to help you navigate all of our wonderful features. I find the best way to navigate to this is just to search Kahoot Help Center when I open up Google. We also have an amazing YouTube channel with quick tutorials and our previous webinars. You can find videos from best way to contact billing to hosting a Kahoot. Lots of great things to see here. In addition to this, we also have a special work channel that's now live within Kahoot. I don't have an image to show you of that here, but I will be showing you how to navigate to it during today's live demo. So 3 great areas to locate resources beyond today's session. And then we also have an advanced webinar. So after you complete the basic webinar, highly recommend checking out our advanced one as well. So for those who might be unfamiliar, Kahoot started as a tool for student assessments and educational games. However, today we've evolved into a powerful business tool designed to help professionals like you create impactful collaborative content. We have 604,000 paid business subscribers. 97% of Fortune 500 companies are using Kahoot. And in addition to that, we have 40 million non-unique participants using and finding value in Kahoot. And sorry, I forgot to click the join, so I'm going to pop that QR code back up here in case anyone still needs to join today's presentation. And we also make the workplace fun because no one said a training or internal meeting needs to be boring to be professional. We really want to help you make things as fun and engaging as possible. After all, we are the leader in gamifying learning in the workspace. So no matter your needs, whether it's for interactive presentations to in-person and virtual events, compliance trainings, or onboarding new hires, we are here to help make learning awesome. Now that we have our quick introductions done, I am excited to have you experience a few of our question types with our icebreakers for today's session to help me get to know you all a little bit better. If you have not yet joined, please feel free to scan the QR code on your mobile device or on your desktop, navigate to kahoot.it, and use the game pin to join. And this question type is the drop pin. It's a great tool for gathering quick insights or serving as an interactive icebreaker, as we're doing here. If you are on desktop, you're going to move the image to the pin, which you'll see here in a minute, not the pin to the image. And if you're on a mobile device, you're going to drag the image with your fingers or use 2 fingers to zoom in and out on the image. Okay, and I'm going to let everyone find themselves on the world map. And if you have not yet joined, please feel free to join today's interactive presentation so you can participate in some of our questions today. Okay, great. It looks like we have people from all over the world. My apologies for saying good morning. I probably should have said good evening to quite a few of you today. That's really great to see. Before we move on, I do want to note that you can use a similar question type um, to this called the pin answer for more specific learning or assessments by designating a correct area of an image. A great use case for the pin answer question type is to upload a screenshot of a web page and ask participants maybe to identify a specific step in a process or locate key resources. It's also useful for visualizing data, such as identifying growth areas or untapped potential. And this image, yes, is completely flexible. You can choose to have a closer image of a map to a specific region or area. Again, you can use a screenshot of a web page. Really, the options here are limited when it comes to your image. Okay. Next question. I'm curious to know who here has a Kahoot account, and this is one of our quiz type questions. As you can see here, I opted to use some fun media in place of text for our answer options. This is something that I'll show you how to do in the live demo. I also just have two answer choices for you to choose from, yes or no. I could have up to 6 answer choices, and I could make it multi-select if I'd like. However, this is just our simple yes or no. Okay, cool. I see we're pretty split for today's webinar. My goal for today's session is to help you feel confident and excited about using Kahoot. So hopefully we turn a few of those not yet into a yes, and those that already have an account leave feeling inspired to implement Kahoot in a new way. Here we got my mouse again. Okay, great. And then for our next icebreaker question, I'm going to use the word cloud. The word cloud is a great option because the more the same answer is entered, the bigger the text will be when we reveal all the answers. I'm curious to know where you heard about today's webinar, whether it is through an email, maybe a coworker told you to join, perhaps LinkedIn. Where did you hear about today's session? Website through your YouTube. Great. So somebody's already checking out our YouTube channel. Coworker. Fantastic. All right, and now for the last icebreaker for today, I have a scale question. This is a great way to gather a wide range of feedback, like measuring customer or employee satisfaction. For today's session, I want to know how confident you feel in creating and hosting Kahoots. And then I'm actually going to ask this question again at the very end so I can see how today's webinar went. I do want to note that you can customize the number options and the label to fit your needs. Most question types you see are highly customizable, so I do recommend after today's session checking out each of our different question types so you can see how it will best fit your needs. Okay. And since this is our presentation mode, I have the option to see the answers for some of our questions or just move on. I do want to see today's answer because it does show an average for the scale. So again, we're going to answer this again at the end of the session to see if I was able to increase our average answer here. So 4.8, I will remember that. Okay, so far we've explored different ways to gather opinions through scale, word cloud, and drop pin, which is also similar to pin answer if you want to award points. We have more options for collecting opinions with our open-ended question type, poll, and brainstorm. The open-ended question type is pretty similar to word cloud, but it allows for a much more detailed response with more characters. I'm going to say it's just over 2,000 characters. For example, my team has used this to gather ideas on new processes. Our team members submitted their solutions, which we then took time to pause and discuss as a group. Oh, and sorry, I went a little too fast there. The brainstorm question type is a collaborative option that I'll show you during our live demo. With brainstorm, users can submit multiple answers, making it ideal for generating and refining ideas together as a group. It's actually one of my favorite question types that we offer, so I'm really excited for y'all to experience later on today. Looking at our testing knowledge questions, Kahoot is widely known for its quizzing features, and we do offer 6 different quiz question types. You'll likely be familiar with quizzes and true-false questions, which are common in many plans. There's also the type answer, similar to open-ended, but with a correct answer preset by the host. The host is able to set multiple variations of the answer. For instance, if you asked a question about a team's mascot and the answer should include duck, the host can set acceptable variations such as duck or the ducks or ducks to avoid marking it wrong. In addition to that, the host also has the option to review all of the answers after they've been submitted. And if one was marked wrong, they can mark it correct, which is great if you have really competitive teams and someone's going really quickly and accidentally has like a typo or something. Because one thing about our questions, the faster you answer, the more points you get. So you will see your teams get a little bit competitive there. Okay, we talked about pin answer, which again was similar to that drop pin where we looked at the map. We will see the slider question here shortly. We also have the puzzle question, which requires users to rearrange items in the correct order, perfect for testing process knowledge, which you'll get to see later on in today's presentation. So in total, Kahoot offers 13 question types for opinion collection and knowledge testing. And beyond just quizzing, you can also present directly within Kahoot, which we will dive into after this next question break. Okay, slider question. How many question types does Kahoot offer? So with this question type, I know I mentioned earlier that we offer a lot of flexibility as far as customizing the questions. The host does have control of the range and can even offer more leeway for the answer by giving or taking a set amount. So if you did have a wide range that you're having people answer in, you could be more forgiving, and the closer they get to the correct answer, the more points they get. Or you can make it exact if you don't want to offer any wiggle room there. I do love this question type, especially when it shows the answer because it will slide up and down and kind of tease it out. So you'll probably hear a couple of like oohs and oh no's as it's moving up. People getting excited. I'm thinking that it's about to stop on their number. But the correct answer here is 13 different question types between our opinion collection and our quiz questions. And the wider the range and more answers people submit that aren't the right one, the more it will kind of tease and go up and down the scale. Okay, and so in addition to assessing, gathering feedback, and promoting collaboration and transferring knowledge through our 13 question types, you can also present within Kahoot. For instance, the slide I'm showing you now was created within Kahoot, and this allows all of your presentations to have the perfect blend of slides and questions to keep your audience engaged. This is used with our big title format. However, there are many layout options, so you can really find the style that matches your presentation. You can also easily import existing content, turning any resource into an interactive presentation without having to start from scratch, which we will dive into here in just a little bit. Wake up my mouse. All right, now let's talk about how you can engage with your teams, clients, or coworkers using Kahoot. We have many ways that you can share Kahoots with your team, so you can pick the best option for your situation. First, there's the option to host live Kahoot sessions. Live sessions means everyone's participating at the same time. And while it is a great option in person, it does not require you all to be in the same place, much like today. This is a live session, so although we're not all together, we all are participating at the same time. All you need is your Kahoot and a platform like Zoom or Microsoft Teams so you can share your screen. Now you might be wondering, but what if I can't get everyone together at the same time? And that's not a problem at all. We understand people might be out sick, on vacation, or perhaps tied up in another meeting, and that's where our asynchronous assignments come in. With Kahoot, you have flexibility. You can assign activities to participants to complete on their own time. You could set a deadline if you want to keep things more organized or leave it open-ended for that added flexibility. So whether it's live, self-paced, or a mix of both, Kahoot gives you the tools to engage everyone wherever and whenever they are available. So again, you could do live or asynchronous, or perhaps somebody was out sick that day and missed your presentation, you can assign it just to that person. Now, I'm only going to quickly go over these next two types of engagement. This is something that will be talked about more in our advanced webinar, but I do just want you to be aware that it exists. We have Kahoot Stories, which offers a fresh and engaging way to share information in an article or web page format. These micro-learning experiences take just 2 to 5 minutes and can include resources or announcements. It's also very mobile friendly. A lot of potential here for use cases. So again, highly recommend checking out our advanced webinar to learn more. We also offer Kahoot courses. Think of this as more of a threaded learning experience. It's going to be a combination of stories, Kahoots, documents, videos, however you want to make it. You can create modules for your coworkers to work through. Again, this will be discussed more during our advanced webinar. I just wanted to make sure that y'all were aware that these options are available. I highly recommend checking out that webinar to learn more. Okay, quiz. This is multi-select, so you can select more than one answer. When is it a good time to Kahoot? Just checking our chat, I see we had a question about Kahoots and PowerPoints. Thank you so much, Lisa, for keeping an eye on our chat and dropping in some information there. It's something we'll also go over in just a minute here. Great question, though. Seeing a lot of questions come through. I love seeing that during webinars. Okay, great. So hopefully you chose all of the above. It might have felt a little bit like a trick question because there were so many answer choices here, but it's always a good time to Kahoot, whether it's during a small or large scale meeting, in person, virtual, for new employee onboardings and trainings, or even presenting information to a client or internally. It's always a good time to Kahoot. All right, and I know some of you are already thinking about, okay, all of this is great, Tyler, but how are we going to create these Kahoots? How long is it going to take us? And I'm really excited to start talking about our Kahoot AI, as well as our Google and PowerPoint sync. All of these features offer incredible flexibility, helping you create engaging content tailored perfectly for your audience, all with just a few clicks. One key feature is our PDF to Kahoot tool, which I know some of you are already wondering about. This tool helps you turn any existing resource, like materials from your L&D or training teams, into complete presentations and quizzes in Kahoot. And I will show you exactly how to do this during our live demo with our topic to Kahoot generate. But for this video, it'll show you how to do a PDF. Simply select your PDF, and then you're able to go through the different settings to really customize the Kahoot that's generated for you. Great way to start from scratch. You can choose to add all of the questions and slides or go through them individually and add just the ones that you think you'll need. It's a wonderful, wonderful time saver there. Okay, now let's talk about importing slides because again, I will talk more about the AI during the live demo today, and we'll actually create a Kahoot using our AI together. For Google Sync and PowerPoint Online, the sync process usually takes just a few minutes depending on the number of slides, but it's typically pretty quick. And some of you might have caught on to the word I mentioned just a moment ago, which is sync. Kahoot can sync with Google Slides and PowerPoint. And what this means is if you or someone on your team updates a slide, you can easily refresh your Kahoot with the latest version with just a push of a button, which you'll see here. So while this is an example of Google Sync, our PowerPoint will work in the same way. You'll import or sync your Google presentation to Kahoot. Select the slides that you want to add, whether it's just a few or all of them. You can go in and add additional questions and slides, or if you need to work on a slide from your Google Doc, click Edit and you'll jump back into your Google Doc, make your updates in Google, and then update within Kahoot. You can choose to update the entire presentation or just the slide that you were working on. The sync feature is great because again, it just ensures that your Kahoot is always up to date and aligned with your presentation needs. And again, that was an example of Google Sync, but PowerPoint Online syncs in the same way. Okay, let's take a quick question break before the live demo with an open-ended question. I'm curious to know what time-saving feature you're most excited about, whether it's AI topic, Google or PowerPoint sync, PDF import, or our URL, YouTube. With our question types, you do have the option to change the time limit. So for open-ended ones, I do allow a little bit more time. If you want to share the way you see yourself using it, you can. You can also shorten the time length. So if you know it'll be pretty quick, you can go ahead and adjust that as needed. All of our question types and time limits are set to our best practices. So if you aren't sure of what to do when you create your question, I would just leave it at the time amount that was set. Think all of the above. Yeah. All right, I'm seeing a lot of PDF and PowerPoint. That's great. Yeah, it's so convenient. We can take resources your team has already created and turn them into a quick Kahoot. Our PDF and Google Sync features are very popular. Same with PowerPoint. All right, so for double points, and after this question, I will show our scoreboard. So for double points, how can you use Kahoot's AI tools to convert your PDF into a Kahoot? Now, I know that was a pretty quick video. So if you don't remember the process, no worries. I did want you to experience our puzzle question type. So you will move these steps in order. The first step being at the very top. We still have our live demo, so you'll see me complete creating a Kahoot using our AI tool. And then, of course, we have wonderful resources available to you beyond today's session. So if you're not sure on this one, no worries. I'm sure everyone here will get the hang of it pretty quickly. Okay, great. We've got 4 people that got it right. I'm really impressed. This one is usually a trickier one. I find our puzzle questions tend to get people to think a little bit more. So really great to see that we have some people that got that right. And again, if not, no worries, because I'm about to show you with our live demo. If you are on your phone, please feel free to look up from your phone. And if you're on your computer, you can watch me on Zoom instead of the Kahoot window. I do ask that you that you keep the Kahoot window or app open on your phone because we are going to hop back in this later. I typically don't jump in and out of a presentation, but for today's live demo, I will need to do so. And then before we jump in, let's go ahead and look at our scoreboard. Looks like our champion bear is in the lead with Flying Crane closely behind them. So with our presentation mode, you do have the option of showing the scoreboard throughout. Some of our other modes will automatically show the scoreboard. So just depending on what kind of presentation you're doing. Okay, I'm going to minimize this. And again, keep the window open or the app open and just look at the Zoom for now. Okay, so I have logged into Kahoot. We'll start with some platform navigation and then we'll jump into creating a Kahoot. First, let's start by reviewing a few key touch points. You might have noticed a few different options in the drop-down menu where you'll see your username. This represents your personal workspace within Kahoot. If you're part of a paid or team workspace, you'll see those listed below. I highly recommend working in the team areas if you're working on a Kahoot that others might need to see on your team. This is because not only will you have access to all of the paid features, your team will also be able to see the content you're creating. It's much easier to share and collaborate on. Again, working in that paid space, team space will give you access to all of your features. Okay, next is our Discover tab. This page makes it easy to find ready-made Kahoots that are tailored to your needs. So whether you're looking for a fun way to engage your team with weekly trivia, or maybe you're seeking professional content for personal or team development, there really is something here for everyone. Also a great way to just kind of introduce yourself to hosting Kahoots if you want to practice that. Much easier to do it with one that's already made for you. We also have some amazing partners like Matt Abrahams and David J.P. Phillips who have contributed some really outstanding professional development content to help your team grow. So fun area to explore. Next, we have the library, and I'm going to go ahead and jump into one of my team spaces to show you the library so you can see the differences here. There are 2 types of folders in the library. You're going to have your folder and your organizations folder if you're in a team workspace. Your folders are personal to you, allowing you to organize your Kahoots. Content in your folders is private unless shared through a direct link. If you move someone else's Kahoot from your like if someone else in your organization created a Kahoot and you move it to your folder, it'll still be available to the whole team. Okay, so team library is where active users in your team can collaborate and access each other's Kahoots. Um, and then your folder is where all of your things are stored. For reports, I'm not going to click into this just because we do click into this too much because we do have email addresses saved for some of our quizzes. But under reports, you're able to see how individuals have performed throughout a Kahoot. You can also see a breakdown by question, which I really love. So you can gauge maybe the level of difficulty of what you were asking and really know what to tailor for your session next time. And we do have some great work courses on these different areas. So if you are wanting to learn more, highly recommend checking those out, or again, checking out our advanced webinar where we'll do a deeper dive into some of these features. I'm going to go ahead and show, let me go to mine because that's where I have the work course saved. So under our channels, the work channel I mentioned earlier when I was talking about resources, this is something I highly recommend everybody add to their account. You would just go to channels and search Kahoot at work and then follow this channel. You'll find some really great content here, doing a deeper dive into some of the elements of Kahoot, whether it be learning how to generate Kahoots with AI to learning how to use reports. Each one of these courses is about 10 minutes. Great way to also experience what a Kahoot course looks like. So highly recommend adding this Kahoot at Work channel and checking out some of the different content here. Okay, now it's time to get creative, and we're going to create and tailor a presentation to fit our needs perfectly. I'm going to start by clicking the blue Create button at the top right-hand side of the screen. This button lives here, so anytime you need to create a Kahoot, it's easy to find. Once you click the button, you'll have the option to choose Kahoot, story, or course. I'm going to go with a Kahoot. And when you see this pop up, you'll have the option to generate your Kahoot with a PDF file based on a topic or import slides from Google or PowerPoint online. You can also use a template of pre-made Kahoots, or if you're feeling really ambitious and creative, you can start completely from scratch. I feel most of us are too busy to always start completely from scratch. So for today's live demo, I'm going to use our topic generator. When you click into the topic generator, you will have a few options here. You can choose to generate a Kahoot based on a topic, which we will do. You can choose a URL. So if there is a web page that you want to create a Kahoot on, or maybe for part of like new employee onboarding training, you want to turn the About Us company page into a Kahoot, you can drop that URL and generate that way. You can go back to PDF if you want to use a PDF or Wikipedia. And for today, we're going to use topic. And let's see, for our topic today, let's do, I did interactive. We'll stick with interactive presentations. So I type my topic into the bar here and then click generate. And as we can see, the Kahoot is generating. Looking at our settings on the right-hand side, I could adjust these before clicking generate. I can also do it after the Kahoot has started generating. So let's say I was click generate and then realized, it's great that there are quiz questions here, but I do want to turn this into more of a presentation. So let's choose our presentation format. Looking at language, I do have the option to change the language. However, for today's session, I will leave it as English. Skill level, depending on the situation, I can make it tailored to beginners, maybe intermediate or advanced. Let's do beginner today and say it's first step in what will be a Kahoot course. Tone of voice can be humorous, conversational, or formal. I'll leave it as conversational. And then Kahoot length, I can adjust the number of questions that are sprinkled throughout the Kahoot. We'll leave it as 20. And then click refresh. And as you can already see, now instead of only having quiz questions, I have a mixture of slides and questions. I can choose to review and add them one by one, depending on which ones I like. Or I can wait for the whole Kahoot to generate and then click add all. All right, before I could even finish my sip of matcha, it was ready to add all. I'm going to add all questions and slides to the Kahoot. Okay. So after I've created my Kahoot, this is where I get to have some fun with it, and I get to adjust the content to make it truly fit what I'm wanting to discuss. I can change the text on any of the slides. I can change the layout if I'd like. So for example, if I really want this opening slide to just be an image, I can choose big media layout. Maybe I want this to be my agenda, so I change to bullet points so I can have my different items that I'm going to cover. I can also adjust the image. To adjust the image, I would need to remove the media first, and then I can find and insert a different image. Now, Kahoot AI is going to look at the slide and it's going to pull images that it thinks will fit the needs of the slide. However, if I want to be a little bit more specific, I can type something in the search bar and it'll pull different images. I can also choose from our bank of GIFs, videos, and if I want to make it more of an audio, I can do that as well. Let's go back to our images and we'll change it to this image. From here, I'm able to edit and crop the image, zoom in or zoom out as needed. And then for the questions that it creates, much like the slides, I'm able to edit the text so I can reword things if I'd like. I can change the answer choices. I can also add more answers if I see fit or even take out some. If I leave these blank, these two answer options won't show during my presentation. So if you remember back to my question, who has a Kahoot account, I just did a yes or no. I left the bottom two blank so it wouldn't show. You can also add images into your answer options. So instead of typing text, click on the image icon that pops up here. And you can add an image into your answer choice to make it even more fun, a little extra razzle dazzle. If you're looking at the question and let's say you think, well, I really do want to ask this question, but perhaps the quiz format I've used a lot throughout the presentation and I want to jazz it up even more, you can change the question type. And you might have noticed on the right-hand side here with each question type I went to, my customizations changed slightly. Some question types do have a few more customization features just because it fits that question type. So once you have the question type you want to go with, let's go back to quiz. Then you can make your adjustments as needed. You can adjust the time limit to give your audience less time or more time, depending on how much pressure you want to add to them. If you leave it at what it's set at, it will be within our best practice. So if you're not sure, just leave it where it's at. You can also change the amount of points rewarded. You can do standard or double points. You can also choose to do no points. And then for this question type, it does have the additional customization by letting you choose whether it's a single select or multi-select for answers. Okay. Now let's say I'm going through, I've made all the adjustments to the slides, but then I get an email maybe from a coworker saying like, hey, can we please make sure this is part of the presentation? Not a problem. You can add additional questions and slides to your Kahoot. You can also arrange the order of your slides and questions. So if there's something at the beginning that you prefer at the end, you can do that as well. One of my favorite features when adding a question or slide is this find feature. This find feature allows you to, let's see, I'm going to do introduction, search slides or questions that are already created in different Kahoots. You can also narrow down the search to your library. So if you know that you're going to be hosting a lot, I know you're not going to want to create your About Me slide every single time, and luckily you do not have to. You can search and add it from one of your other created Kahoots. So I know this slide isn't that. I believe my introduction slide is saved in my team workspace. So another reason to make sure you're consistent with where you're working, because that's where you'll have access to everything you've created. Okay, great. At any point, if you need to preview the presentation, you can preview the presentation. However, whenever you are done, just press save. If there is something that's not complete on your Kahoot, it will prompt you to fix it. And I believe the issue here is that I didn't have a correct answer saved. So while it won't catch your typos for you, it will let you know if something is left out of a question type or a slide. So if you forget a title or forget to select a correct answer, it'll prompt you to go back and fix it. Once it's fixed, you can click save, and then you can preview, host live on the spot, or share to allow other hosts to use the Kahoot. I'm going to show the preview here because I love this preview. It is different from the one when you're actually in the middle of creating. This preview option allows you to see the Kahoot from the host perspective as well as the audience perspective. So if you are feeling a little bit nervous about hosting your Kahoot and really just want to see what it looks like from the audience point of view, you can do the preview after saving, and you have the option to do that. You would just enter the game pen and then play along side by side. So really great for those who have not yet hosted their first Kahoot. Okay. And I'm going to exit, and then let's talk about other hosting options. Ba, ba, ba. We'll just go to this one for now, engaging presentations. Okay, so once I go to the library and find the Kahoot, I can go back to editing it, or I can choose to host live. And when I choose to host live, I have a couple of different options here. I can choose to host live with classic mode. Classic mode is designed to keep everyone engaged and moves at a pretty quick pace. The questions will pop up and go away on their own. Presentation mode allows the host more control over the timing of the presentation and is better for more information forward presentations like the one we're doing today. I am using presentation mode in the Kahoot we were in earlier. That way I can fully control the pacing of the Kahoot. With the presentation mode, I do have to show the scoreboard. So that's the only thing is don't forget to show your audience the scoreboard throughout. With classic mode, it will show the scoreboard and a podium with characters throughout the presentation on its own. So just a little bit more gamified through classic mode. And then, of course, we also have our other ways to play with team mode and game modes. This will be covered in our advanced webinar, so you can also find more information on this in our help center and on that work channel or YouTube channel that we talked about earlier. All right. Now let's say I don't want to host live and I'd rather assign, or maybe I hosted it live and now I need to assign it to a few people. I just click assign, and then I have the option to set a deadline or leave it open-ended. You also have some additional settings here, whether or not you want to collect players' email addresses for better tracking, if you need to personalize the learning and have them practice questions they missed at the end, or if you want to generate a nickname, that way their actual name isn't showing. All of those options are here. You'd click create. And then you can start sharing the Kahoot either by email or sharing the URL link, or even downloading a QR code and sharing. The QR code is great because if you were in a situation like maybe like an exhibit, or if you have different areas around the workspace, whether it's a warehouse or something like that, you could have these QR codes set up with a quick Kahoot just to make sure people understand what's going on in those different parts. Okay, great. And that's a really quick intro to creating and hosting Kahoots. Let's go ahead and jump back to our Kahoot window. So if you did have it open on your desktop, you can go ahead and click back into the window. If you had it on your mobile device, go ahead and power up your phone again so you can see the next part. If for some reason you accidentally left the Kahoot, please feel free to rejoin for our brainstorm question type. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier, this is my favorite question type. And I would love to hear from all of you with our quick brainstorm session. How do you see yourself or your team using Kahoot? If you have multiple ideas, please feel free to submit them separately. I am allowing participants to submit up to, I believe I chose 5 unique answers. You can adjust that as needed. And you'll see with the brainstorm, similar answers will automatically be grouped together once the answers are revealed. And I am allowing a bit more time on this one. And again, you can submit up to 5 different answers for the brainstorm. Perfect. I see some people asking about the advanced training. Lisa just dropped the link for that in the chat. And if you're unable to make one of our webinar sessions, check out our YouTube channel. They are there for you to view at your own pace. Our work channel is also great if you are looking for more information on a specific item. Okay, perfect. So it will start to group if there are similar answer options. You also have the option to group them yourself. And as you can see, there are answers still being submitted, so you should have the option to still add some. But just a great way to gather some quick ideas or feedback from your team. I've seen this used in small internal meetings. This is also something that we use at a company-wide event. It was a gathering we had back in the fall where the entire company got together. We were in a giant conference room in a hotel, and seated at tables of 8, and there were quite a few tables. The way we used this tool as a large group like that, we nominated one person from our table to submit our brainstorm answers. And then at the very end, all of the answers were revealed, and the presenter really discussed all of them, kind of went over some of the similar ones that we saw. And then individually, we got to all participate in this next part, which is voting. So I'm going to go ahead and click start voting. And if you look at your Kahoot screen, whether it's on that desktop window or your mobile, you'll see that you have the option to vote for the ideas that you are interested in. So again, we had one person from each table, because there were so many of us, submit our brainstorm ideas as a team. After we discussed it, once all answers were revealed by the host, we then went on to vote individually. So everybody got to feel like they truly participated in the brainstorm. It was really cool to see it such a large scale. Great, and I see the votes are are pouring in. All right, and voting is complete. And we can see which ideas were the most liked. Educational meetings, academies, education presentation, and training team members. Great. I love these ideas and can't wait to hear how it all goes. All right. And then, of course, I did say I was going to ask the scale question again at the end of our session. I can't believe we're already nearing the end of time. Thank you so much to everybody who participated in today's interactive presentation or just joined today and listened and watched. And thank you to those who are asking questions in the chat. I am really excited to hear, how would you rate your confidence now in creating and hosting Kahoots? I believe we were at 4.8 at the start of our presentation. So my fingers are crossed that we have increased that number. Okay, great. So we went from a 4.8 to a 6.7. That's really fantastic to see. So glad that y'all got something out of it. I do have one more feature to show you very quickly, just an additional way of gathering feedback at the end of one of your presentations. Happy Kahooting, so my ending one. And then at the very end, it'll show just like a thanks for participating in the title of your presentation. You can then request feedback. So anybody that's still on, you're able to leave some quick feedback on the presentation. I did change this up a little bit from our last webinar, so I am curious to see how this one did compare to our previous basic webinar. And help guide me in creating the next one. And then final podium, you also have the option to share that as well. Like our giraffe was in third place, flying crane in second, and our first place participant, champion bear. And that was our last tip and trick. So thank you so much again, everyone, for participating. Hope to see you in the advanced webinar session. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and contact us. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your kind words at the end. That's always really nice to hear. All right, everyone, have a fantastic rest of your day and your week.